All right, we ready to roll?
Actually, one second. I'm just gonna run to the bathroom real quick. Don't touch my light stand though.
What are we gonna do?
I mean, you guys are best friends, right? Like, you love him.
I mean, I guess.
So, true love's kiss.
Seriously, guys? I leave for 2 minutes.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Tavern Talk by Initial Reaction. I'm Philip, and joining me this week is Miss Molly Wheat. Thanks for being here, Molly. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Molly is she's a photographer, filmmaker, actually competed in the 48-hour film project here in Little Rock this past, spring? Or no, past summer, I guess?
It was August.
Okay, yeah. Definitely summer, not spring. I don't know what I'm talking about. But won Best Director, so that's pretty awesome.
First female to win for directing.
Oh, well, that's even cooler. I did not realize that. That's awesome. Well, thanks for being here, taking the time out to join us and watch a movie. Definitely appreciate it, and definitely interested to hear your take on Maleficent, Mistress of Evil is what we watched this week. Obviously, it is the sequel to 2014's Maleficent. And, you know, this is Angelina Jolie's turn as the classic Disney character, where she is, we get a little bit more fleshed out of what her true story is. I don't want to say too much about what happens in the sequel plot-wise yet, anyway, but just initial reaction, what did you think of this sequel to Maleficent?
I thought that the title was a little bit misleading.
It is. It is. It wants. I thought that like there was 20 minutes or so left, and I was like, you know, this is not. She's not like Soup's evil here.
Honestly, I thought that in like the first 15 minutes.
Yeah. Right.
Of it.
Yeah. So I guess to kind of sum up what's going on, because I guess let's first talk about how did you feel about the first Maleficent?
The first one was good. They kind of leave it in such a way that they're not going to have a sequel.
Yeah. And the first one, I was kind of lukewarm on that one. I didn't love it. I kind of was hoping it would have gone more past the Sleeping Beauty story than it did. It still felt kind of restrained by that. So I didn't have like too high of hopes for this one, or like wasn't expecting a whole lot. But I was kind of surprised that in the direction it went, because I really had no idea what the story was going to be for this one.
Same.
Yeah, and it was just like, oh, okay, it's in real time. Like, this is 5 years later in the story, as it is 5 years later after the original movie. And so Princess Aurora, who is Elle Fanning, is 5 years older. She was 16 in the first one. She's 21 now. Her and Prince Philip have been together. It's a different actor playing Prince Philip, but they don't really.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it was Brenton Thwaites in the first one, and I can't remember the actor's name in this one. But yeah, different guy. Doesn't really matter though. They've been together apparently this whole time, and are set to get married. And it kind of comes to be about Maleficent not really wanting to. I mean, she's kind of like a mother who is not wanting to let her daughter go. And then the other side of this is Philip's parents, which is Michelle Pfeiffer is his mother, and she's got a whole thing going on that I won't delve into too much. But yeah, I was surprised at how like this is still very much a Disney spectacle and filled with special effects and everything. It does look great though. Like I was
For sure.
Did you? I mean, as far as like just visually, were you impressed by it, or did it seem overly CGI, or?
Not overly.
No, yeah. I thought the first one kind of leaned into it. This is a different director as well. This one is directed by Joachim Roning. He was one half of the directing team on Kon-Tiki and the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie. He's doing this one solo, but yeah, it's really like fully realized as far as this world goes.
Absolutely.
But no, what it's, I mean, other than kind of hitting the main points of the plot there, what impression did you get from the movie overall? Did
It
you
was
like
kind of like a class war situation.
Yeah, no.
It was good though. It was a Disney movie.
Yeah, it was a Disney movie. Yeah, it certainly hits those points that you expect, kind of the classic fairy tale to kind of hit. You know, there's a dying king in his bed. There's a wedding to be had. There's an evil queen of sorts, and it does try to turn those kind of tropes on its head, though. And I actually enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would. It goes past the like I said, like the first one was kind of constrained by the classic Sleeping Beauty story, whereas this one moves past that and is kind of able to do what it wants with the dynamic between Pfeiffer and Fanning and Jolie's character, and their kind of their differences in dealing with you know, people growing up, getting older, and differences in how they want to, you know, run these kingdoms, kind of. So I really enjoyed it. Anything that like stood out to you that you enjoyed about it or disliked about it, or where are you going to land on this one?
I really hated Michelle Pfeiffer's character.
Did you? Yeah, no, she was.
She was awful.
But she seemed like she was having a really good time with it.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. She loved being evil.
Yeah, she was. Did you ever see that movie Stardust? No? Oh, that's a great movie. It's Matthew Vaughn. You should check it out. It's great. And she's kind of playing that same evil role in that movie, and just does that here and kind of amps it up. Well, not even amps it up from that movie.
She's just great at playing evil.
She's really good at playing evil.
Really
like it's she's having a lot of fun. And this movie's kind of like just unabashedly a little wacky, and like with its character designs and even like just how these characters interact with the human characters. You got Warwick Davis here. He's playing one of Michelle Pfeiffer's like little henchmen, and it's, I don't know, like I was just like, I was more immersed in the world this time around than I was the first.
Yeah, it affords you more opportunity to do so.
Yeah, yeah.
This one.
Yeah, and it expands the world too, because we get to meet kind of this set of creatures where Maleficent came from, and I really liked that kind of world building as well. The world building in general just felt a lot more fleshed out, kind of like the story as well. I don't know, performances. I know we kind of touched on Michelle Pfeiffer there. Not as much of Angelina Jolie as I thought there would be, given she's, you know, the star of it and all.
Seemingly, she would be the star.
Yeah.
She also wasn't exactly a mistress of evil.
She wasn't.
So.
Yeah, no, not at all. No, she's just kind of conflicted. She's just a conflicted mom, really, who wants to...
She just wants the best for her daughter.
Yeah.
So.
Protect her kid, and maybe, you know, just find a little bit of a happy life there in the what do they call it, the moor. Yeah, and but you know, and so then you have the marriage that's going to happen, and Michelle Pfeiffer is like, you know, I guess Maleficent's kind of more like this wicked character. Like she likes not.
Well, they
want
to paint her as being.
They want to paint her
as
wicked, but and she does like have like kind of like this wicked streak of fun in her. I guess you could say, like she kind of likes the stereotype to an extent that she kind of plays with it a little bit, I guess. But Michelle Pfeiffer's just nasty.
Just laying out nasty.
Just and but then you have Elle Fanning, who's kind of stuck in the middle, and is obviously the youngest of the three female kind of co-leads, but also just like the purest and kind of brings the balance between the two. And I was actually, what I was gonna say is, for as much as like there's big action set pieces, and for as big as the movie feels, like the scope is really well done in this. They actually focus on the character dynamics a lot more than I thought they would between those three, and I definitely appreciated that. But no, anything else that's like standing out to you? Anything else you just like, that stood out to you about the movie that you liked?
Angelina Jolie's cheekbones.
They definitely stood out.
They definitely stood out.
Might even be an understatement. They, and I didn't even recognize like Ed Skrein and Chiwetel for at first. Like they're in the, they have those cheekbones a little bit too.
Yeah.
And really heavily made up. I mean, really good makeup, really good effects and everything. But
Excellent.
it was those cheekbones were distracting for the first like couple of minutes after I gotta acclimate to that. Trying to think of if there's anything else that really, stood out to me about the movie. I was pleasantly surprised by it. I'd say it, for me, it's a superior sequel in that it feels like it kind of accomplished everything that the first was trying to do. It did it more successfully here.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and I liked it more than, like I said, I didn't have huge expectations going into it, but I enjoyed this much more than I thought I would, and it was just, I wouldn't mind. I would have never like asked for a sequel to the first one, really.
Right.
But now, like, I'd be open to see where they're taking this, even though I feel like going any further might kind of ruin this one, because it's just like, what are you gonna do now?
What are we pandering to?
Yeah, and I mean, what other conflict could there possibly? They've kind of, extinguished all their options in that regard.
How can they randomly make her evil again?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you've convinced us. Okay, Maleficent is a good person with a good heart. Let's leave it at that. Because I definitely think the sequel improves upon the original, and I was just really, really happy with how well done it was and how well written. I should mention Linda Wolverton, who wrote the original screenplay, wrote Mistress of Evil as well. And I thought the character work was really well done. The visuals were interesting and cool and a little off the wall, to the point I was just taken with the world as a whole. But yeah, anything else you wanted to add or had on the film? No? Well, here on Tavern Talk, we do out of 5 stars. So for Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, what would you give?
I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm a little higher. I'm gonna go 3.5. Like
Okay.
I was genuinely surprised with. I know, so bold. I was genuinely surprised with how much I enjoyed it. So so 3 for Molly, 3.5 from me. Just for the visuals alone, though, I would definitely say check it out on the big screen. I think it's a good Saturday afternoon matinee to take the family to, especially if you like the first one or have kids who enjoyed the first one. Definitely take them out and experience it on the big screen. And if you're near a movie tavern, take them to the movie tavern and experience it on the big screen that way. It's a great experience from the word go. You can come in, sit in the comfy recliners, order a full meal, drink, snacks, whatever you're feeling like, and then sit back, recline, and watch a movie on the big screen. You can't beat it. So thank you to Movie Tavern for having us. Thank you, Molly, for joining me.
Thank you.
Talking Maleficent. I really appreciate it. And, subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Hit the notification bell so you get a notification every time we upload a new video. We try to upload a new review every week. So be sure to check that out. And thank you once again. We'll see you next week.